believe in only one God. Shirk is worshipping or believing in many gods. Jusan. Tawheed is the key to paradise, and shirk is the key to hellfire. Tawheed is the salvation, the oneness of God is the salvation, and the shirk is the destruction. You will go to hellfire. God will never forgive you. It's said very clearly in the Quran, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushrika bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. That surely Allah will not forgive the shirk. Anybody make shirk with Allah. When Allah said that, it's not a joke. Bawal, binawal ng Allah sa kanya paraiso. Do you want that the paradise become haram for you? Do you want that Allah is going to get verdict against you that not allowed for you to go to paradise? You will go to hellfire. So that's very important thing here. This very, very important thing here. If anybody can understand it very well in English, if anybody understands it, this one, what I'm talking, you have to bring this message in your language to the people. Very important. Very, very important message. Okay? Now, Tawheed is coming from word is wahada, which is I read from the Quran, Kul huwallahu ahad. Say, He is Allah only one, ahad. And there is another word is similar is wahid. Wahid is one. But ahad is only one. So same word, but more specifically, more specify about the oneness of Allah, only one, ahad. When there was a Sahabi, the companion of the Prophet Muhammad, who came from Habasha, Ethiopia, whose race is African race, means black, of course, but not with the criticism, because it's very bad thing that if you criticize somebody, you are black. That is a very, very bad. If you do this, you are not a believer. If you criticize a black man, Negro, black, don't do this, never do this. If you criticize somebody because of his color, it means you are criticizing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wahda, Tawheed is coming from ahad, only one. And shirk, what is the literal meaning of shirk? Shirk, partnership. Okay, for example, I give somebody 1 million, I said, oh, I give you 1 million, okay, you business, you are my partner, you do work and I invest with you. Whatever the profit we will share, whatever the loss we share, profit and loss. That's called shiraka, partnership. Okay, so literal meaning of word shirk is a partnership. Okay, so you do partnership between the human being, it's okay, but it must be on profit and loss. No fixed investment. You give somebody money and you say, you pay me even you lost or you gain, you still pay me interest, that is haram, riba, that is haram. But profit and loss sharing, shiraka is not haram. But when you make shiraka with Allah, partnership with Allah, that is shirk. That is the greatest sin. No partners with Allah. Allah is only one with His self. He's only one with His self. He's only one with His attributes. With His attributes. And He's only one with His power. With His divine power. He's only one with His greatness. He's only one with His majesty. No one come equal to Allah. If much more you make it somebody is higher than Allah, or you make somebody equal to Allah, that is shirk. Do not make anybody equal to Allah. For example, when Christians said Jesus is God, that is shirk, because you make another God beside Allah. If you make a wife of Allah, that is shirk. If you make son of God, that is shirk, because the sons are partners. Sons are partners. Whatever I own it's all owned by my children also, because they are my partners. My wives are my partners. My children are my partners. If you said Allah is a wife and Allah is a children, you are making partners of Allah. So Allah is just walang anak. So if you make the son of God, that is also partnership. But now here I am talking about very important topic, which most of the scholars in the world, they don't talk about that at all. Okay, for example here, we have a Ustad here, he studied in Baguio. Okay, we asked him how many kind of shirk and how many kinds of Tawheed they teach in the madrasas. Okay, how many kinds of Tawheed? Tawheed bizat. Tawheed with Rububiyyah and Tawheed with Sifat. Okay, and Shirk? Okay. What kind of Shirk they teach you in madrasa? Shirk will Zat, Shirk with Rububiyyah, okay? Shirk fil Ahkamat, Shirk fil Ibadah. Okay, these are the common teachings in madrasa. I am talking about a very important shirk, which no madrasa in the world is speaking about. Very big shirk implemented in the world today. Those people who say they are the giant scholar like Albani or Bin Baz or Uthman or whatever, they don't talk about that shirk, which is a very great shirk. Okay, what is the shirk bil Zat? You make any God beside Allah. That is shirk bil Zat. What is the shirk bil Rububiyyah? That you make any other Lord beside God, beside Allah. That is shirk bil Rububiyyah. If you make shirk fi sifat, you give attribute of Allah to anybody beside Allah, attributes of Allah. That is shirk fil Rububiyyah. Shirk fil Ibadah, you worship any God beside Allah, that is a shirk fil Ibadah. You worship any God beside Allah, that is shirk fil Ibadah, like praying, fasting, giving charity in the name of other than Allah. That is shirk fil Ibadah. And these are the only shirk, and these are the only Tawheed, Tawheed fil Zat, Tawheed fil Ibadah, Tawheed fil Sifat. These are the only Tawheed and Shirk teaching in the world in madrasas today only. There is a very important Shirk and very important Tawheed which is not discussed worldwide, anywhere in the world. For example, what is this Shirk? Tawheed fil Hakimiyyah. Tawheed fil Hakimiyyah and Shirk fil Hakimiyyah. Okay? The right to rule is rule only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only Allah has the right to rule. Rule. The law. And if anybody is giving this right to other than Allah, that is called shirk fil hakimiyyah. What is hakimiyyah? The rule. The law. Okay? This world is created by Allah. This land is created by Allah. Only the law which Allah wants to be implemented on this land and which can solve our problems is the law of God. No other law. No other law can solve the problem. For example, riba. The most of the people in Philippines and most of the people in the world are poor. Marami ng tao sa Pilipinas at maraming tao sa mundo mahirap. Why? Because of riba. Because of the riba. The banks loan to the rich people, and rich people loan to another rich people, and another rich people, then another rich people, and when it reaches to the poor, the interest rate is 500%. How you can get better now? You will be always below the poverty. You will never go up. Because the world is controlled by the rich people, bankers. And bankers only give loan to the rich people with collaterals. So rich want to get more richer, and poor, they want the poor to get more and more poorer. Because it is the law of not God, not the law of God. So it is injustice. Allah in the Quran prohibited the riba, the interest. You can lend money without interest. You can invest the money on profit and loss. That's only the options allowed in Islam, in the law of God. But in the law of the other than God, it is allowed that you can lend money on interest and make people more and more poor. Make them suck their blood. Kill them financially, because it is the law of not the God, not the law of God. Law of the people, the man-made law, which can make injustice. This is one of the examples. The laws today in the world, for example, I give you the two killers. The two giant killers, which kill, each of them, they kill millions of people in the world every year. What are the two giant killers in the world today? Alcohol and cigarettes. Alcohol and cigarettes. And most of the governments in the world, they allow alcohol and they allow cigarettes. Why? Why they allow? Because of revenue. Because government don't care about you, they care about the revenue. They want to get money from you. Because the highest revenue on any product in the world is alcohol and cigarettes. Highest tax. There are some countries like Singapore, they have a tax on the cigarette is 500%. In one cigarette in Singapore, you cannot buy for 20 pesos. So they allow people because they want to get money from the people. But God is not like that. Allah is not like that. He cared for us. So He don't allow anything which is harmful for us. So He prohibited that in the Quran. Don't kill yourself with your own hands. Don't destroy yourself with your own hands. So cigarette destroys you, it's prohibited to use. That's the law of God, justice, and which care for us. Alcohol is clearly mentioned in the Quran, prohibited. Innamal khamra wal maisara wal ansabu wal azlam wal ansabu rijsum min amali shaitan. They are dirty and they are the act of shaitan. Allah prohibited alcohol because He knows that's not good for us. Allah does not need anything from us because He is needless. Wala siya may kailangan. So now here is the problem, and I have to speak very clearly here. For example, there are Muslim countries in the world known as Muslim countries. I don't consider them as Muslim countries. For example, Saudi Arabia. Okay, for example, Pakistan, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Syria, Iraq, Iran, or any other country in the Middle East, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Tunisia, Sudan. Name any Muslim country, they are not Muslim countries because they don't use the law of Allah as their law. Either they use the democracy, and there were many countries few years ago when the communism was a superpower. There were many Muslim countries who were communist Muslim countries, like Iraq or Libya, Syria, and many other Muslim countries. They were used to be communist Muslim countries, communist. They accepted the communism. Now today, because the democratic countries are powerful, so the Muslim countries are using democratic laws. And others are partially democratic and they are partially monarchist, like Saudi Arabia or Qatar or Dubai, the UAE, United Arab Emirates. They are monarchists, but they are still accepting the democratic system of law in their countries, like making the boundaries, and then you cannot allow without visa and etc. Even you're Muslim, you cannot stay in Mecca because your visa expired, get lost, we'll put you in the jail. This is not Islam. It's not Islam. Because in Islam Allah said, Inna ardallahi wa'asiyah. Surely the earth of Allah is expanded. You can go anywhere. That is the constitution of Quran. You're allowed to go any part of the world. Because this all land belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all the human beings are brothers and sisters. So why to make the boundaries? You must be free. This is the law of God. But this law is accepted by the Muslim countries. So Muslims are divided now. Regardless you are Muslim, you cannot enter Saudi Arabia without visa. Regardless you are Muslim, you cannot enter Pakistan. Regardless of Muslim, you cannot enter Malaysia. Even a non-Muslim can enter there and can live there because they are Malaysians, but you cannot because you are not Malaysian. So they changed the identity of Islam into Malaysian identity, Indonesian identity, Saudi identity, Pakistani identity, which is shirk. Because we believe in the oneness of unity. Our unity is only one. Our deen is only one. Our God is only one. So we should be one. We cannot be divided, and we cannot make those divisions in base of the nationalisms, which is another kind of shirk. So these are the countries which are, for example, I can give you one example which can prove my case against all those scholars who are accepting those governments as the Muslim governments, and they tell that these are the Muslim leaders, you should follow them. I say no, I don't follow them. I don't follow those Muslim leaders because they are not commanding me according to the word of Allah. They are not commanding me according to the book of Allah. Rather, they are adapting the laws which is not the law of Allah. So I don't consider them as a Muslim leader because they are not implying the law of Allah, the law of Islam. For example, all those Muslim countries, which are around 52 Muslim countries, which some of them I name, like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Malaysia, Indonesia, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, etc., Sudan, Algeria, Tunisia. All those countries, Somalia even, all those countries, they legalized riba, banking system, legalized. The banking system, the riba is riba. You know what is riba? You lend money and you get interest. That's banking system. And if you put the money in the savings account, then bank pay you the interest. That's haram. That is one of the great sin in Islam, in the Quran. That Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa dharu ma baqiya min ar-riba in kuntum mu'minin. Oh, you believe, give up the riba, the interest, fear Allah and give up the riba interest if you are believers. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا فَأَذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So if you will not do it, then take the notice of war from Allah and His Messenger. How great is this? That Allah is announcing you that if you are lending money and you're getting the interest, and if you will not stop it, then you are making war with Allah. Can you be Muslim after that? If somebody comes to you and he gives you the check, brother, I have a check 10,000, but the date is after 1 month, discount it. And then you pay him 9,000. What you did now? What did you did? Riba. Because you get 1,000 riba from him. Because you pay him 10,000 in advance and the check is after a month. So now you give him 9,000 and you keep the 1,000 because you lend him the money 9,000 and you riba 1,000 pesos. That is riba. What you did now? You are getting the war from Allah. Allah will destroy you. If you buy the car on the lending from the bank, you are making war with Allah. You buy the house on the lending from the bank, you are making war with Allah. But you see, imagine now all the Muslim countries, even the country from where I am from, Pakistan, it also allowed the riba. Riba is legal in Saudi Arabia. Every bank in the Saudi Arabia deals with riba. There are all banks there, the Citibank, the Standard Chartered Bank, any bank in the world, the international banks are there and they are lending money on interest. And the Saudi government legalized it. It's allowed. For example, there was a Sahabi, the Adi bin Hatim radiallahu anhu. There was ayah of the Quran revealed, اتَّخَذُوا أَحْبَارَهُمْ وَرُهْبَانَهُمْ أَرْبَابًا مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَالْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ. They took their ahbar, their scholars, and ruhban, the monks, gods, lords, beside Allah. And also to Masih ibn Maryam, the Jesus Christ, son of Mary, they also take him as Lord beside Allah. So now the Adi bin Hatim, he came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was formerly Christian, Datishan Cristiano. Now he's Muslim, Adi bin Hatim radiallahu anhu. He asked to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we used to worship Jesus Christ, but not our scholars, no. Not our monks, we were not worshipping them. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained him that if they make something halal, which Allah make haram, and they make something haram, which Allah make halal, and if you accepted this, you are worshipping them. They become your Lord. So that's very serious matter. For example, I give you one example here. The most of the scholars in Philippines, because of the Arab scholars, because Arab scholars are giving the fatwa or the verdict, that's why the most of the scholars in Philippines, they are giving verdict to the people, you can eat in Jollibee, you can eat in KFC. It is very common, you can check. Brother Salim, is it right? Most of the scholars, Arab scholars, and most of the scholars in Philippines, they are giving a fatwa which I don't accept, that you can eat in Jollibee and KFC. But I don't accept it, it's haram. Because I know the Quran. You read in the Quran, Allah said in the Quran, the 4 products are haram. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به. Surely prohibited for you the dead animal. Kung hindi katay, if not slaughtered, that's haram. You must have to slaughter it. If you're not slaughtering it, if the animal die with current or with hammer, pukpuk martillo or whatever method, that's not halal because you should slaughter it here to bleed. Number 1 condition. Wadama, and the haram is the blood. Walam al-khinzir, and the flesh of the swine, karin ng baboy, haram. And anything which is not mentioned the name of Allah. So you, not only you say, you just slaughter, you have to slaughter Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, in the name of Allah. These are the 4 important, these are the 4 haram. If it is not slaughter in the name of Allah, Bismillah, not allowed. And if somebody giving you the, even the not meat, but they give you the sweets, they give you the cake, also this is a Christmas cake, can you eat this? You cannot eat because it's not in the name of Allah. Somebody give you the food for the fiesta, juice-juicean, sa pangalan ng mga reboldo. Can you eat this? No. You cannot eat because it's not in the name of Allah. This is the name of the idols. So anything which is not in the name of Allah, kung lahat ng bagay hindi sa pangalan ng Allah, haram. 4 haram here. Now, anong karapatan? What is the reason those scholars to say the Jollibee is halal? Why? Why is halal? Jollibee contains the dead animal, hindi katay. Jollibee contains the blood because hindi sila ugas ng dugo because they like blood. Jollibee contains the baboy, the pork, because that is their product there. And the Jollibee contains not the name of Allah because their animal is not slaughtered in the name of Allah. 4 haram. Why this scholar give fatwa you can eat in Jollibee? Do you believe that your alim, your scholar is your God? That he can change the word of Allah? When Allah said haram, then somebody make halal for you? That becomes shirk. According to the ayah, اتَّخَذُوا أَحْبَارَهُمْ وَرُهْبَانَهُمْ أَرْبَابًا مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَالْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ. They took their ahbar, their scholars, and their monks, lords, beside Allah, and also the Masih ibn Maryam, the Jesus son of Mary, the Christ son of Mary, the Masih ibn Maryam. So that's very serious thing, which mostly you will not hear. Mostly scholars, they talk about that. Because they talk about it, then they will be attacked for this. Because they are doing this. They make halal everything. For example, in the Muslim world today, there are Islamic banks. Every Muslim country, they have Islamic banks. And the Islamic banks is same like other banks, riba. But the scholars giving fatwa, that's halal. So today is the biggest problem of the scholars. And this is told by the Prophet ﷺ, that time will come, beneath the sky, the worst of the people, shararun nasul ulama. The worst of the people will be the scholars. Prophet ﷺ told us the knowledge from Allah, that there will be time coming, the worst people below the sky will be the ulama. Shararun nasul ulama. This is the words of the hadith. Shararun nasul ulama. So we should not be followed them blindly, rather we read the Quran, and we understand it with the hadith. But if any hadith which is contradicting Quran, we reject it. Because hadiths were many fabricated in the world, but there is no fabrication of Quran. So Quran is also criterion, Furqan, to distinguish between right and wrong. So we have the Quran. If any hadith contradict the Quran, we reject it. So we will not be misguided. But if we get hadith as entity, regardless if it is against the Quran, then surely we are going to be misguided. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this kind of shirk. For example, lotteries. You know the lotteries? Lotteries like sweepstakes or the lotto. So now the lottery is halal or haram? Haram. Why is haram? Because it's gambling. Okay? I see sometimes I'm driving somewhere in the streets and I see one of the Muslim brothers standing in the lotto, buying the lotto. Very weak iman. Mahina yung iman. He's buying the lotto. I will not mention the name because may Allah guide him. We have to protect the sins of the people. But I see sometimes driving and I see the lotto shop. Oh, this is our Muslim brother. He's buying the lotto. He should trust Allah. Don't trust this haram. Trust Allah and ask Allah to solve your problem. Not with this lotto. You will not solve your problem. You will become more bankrupt. You will not get better with this. You will lose what you have also. Because these are the deceptions. These are the deceptions only. So now the lottery is haram. Okay? Now if any Muslim ruler in any Muslim country like in Pakistan, the government allow the lottery. It's allowed, legalized. No restriction. Most of the Muslim countries, they allow the lotteries. There are companies, they are selling the lotteries like sweepstakes. And that Muslim country says halal. Halal, it's allowed. What this Muslim country is doing, they are making halal which Allah make haram. Is it shirk or not shirk? That is shirk. Because you are legalizing what Allah make it prohibited. You are making halal something which Allah make it haram. The riba is haram and it is punishable in Islam and it is a great sin, but all the Muslim countries, they make it riba is legalized. The government will not bother you, they will not stop you. Do you think this Muslim country is a Muslim country? Or this is a mushrik country? Because they legalize the riba. All the Muslim countries in the world today, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Indonesia, Malaysia, the riba is halal. They make it halal. You can go Makkah, you go to Hajj, you finish your Salah in the Masjidul Haram, you go outside, all the gold shop, they have a credit card. You punch it and you buy your products on riba. I was in Medina, when I finished Salah, I go to the bank, I see the machine of credit card, the credit card is riba. I said, brother, you Muslim, you are selling gold on the credit card, that's haram. That is haram, that is riba. I said, no, get lost. I already talked to Mutawa. Mutawa told me, okay. I said, Mutawa is your God. When Allah make haram, then He make halal for you. So now, there is the problem now. The scholars are already corrupted. They get money from the governments, they cannot speak against the governments, to those Muslim governments. So those scholars, they are already puppets of the Muslim governments. Those Muslim governments are puppet. Those scholars are the puppets of those Muslim governments. They just get the allowance from the Muslim government. Muslim government feed them, give them allowance, give them money. So they say, okay, whatever you do, I close my eyes. I will not see. I will not bother you. Because the Muslim governments, they are the sustainer of those ulama. They become their gods and then they will not bother them. This haram, they don't talk about this kind of shirk. I never heard from any scholar, except only one or two scholars. I listen them on internet and they talk about that. But mostly scholars are already bribed, corrupted. So they don't talk about this kind of shirk, which is ultimately, very clearly, shirk because Allah is Malik in Nas. Allah is the Malik. Allah is the king of mankind. So his law should be prevail and his law should be presented. We can talk to the people in the world that your government is not solving your problem. Come to Islam. The Islam can solve your problem because it is justice law. And of course, when we talk to the non-Muslims, they will say, what about your own governments? They are not implementing Islam. So we should talk to them first. We talk to them that if you are really Muslim, then you come to the law of Islam, implement it in your land, and give example to the non-Muslim countries that this is the solution. We don't see the solution in Muslim countries because they are not using the law of Allah. If they use the law of Allah, then problems will solve. But they don't use the law of Allah, so problem is multiplying. And we can see it in the news. And one more thing which I will add, Kul Allahu Ahad, Allah only one by his self and by his attributes and by his power. Okay, now we can discuss about the attributes of Allah, like he is the most merciful, he is the most kind, he is the most generous, but we are not allowed to talk about the self of Allah. How look like Allah? What is the self of Allah? Close your mind. Limit. Stop it. We don't know how Allah is. He is unlimited, he is infinite, he is needless, he is al-samad, he is eternal absolute. Allah is the one who cannot be added on. Hindi pwede dagdag. Allah is the one who cannot be subtracted. Hindi pwede bawas. Allah is the one who cannot be multiplied. You cannot multiply Allah like we are multiplying. Okay? We all lahat ng tayo in the world, we are multiplying. When I come to Philippines, 20 years ago, I was alone, but now, alhamdulillah, I have 3 wives and 10 children. I love all my wives, I love all my children. 3 asawa ko at 10 anak ko. I'm multiplying. Okay? I'm multiplying. Allah is only one, no multiplication. Hindi siya multiply. No, Allah hindi siya multiply. Okay? See, Allah is not multiplying and Allah is not going to be divided. That is the meaning of as-samad. Allah is unlimited. Allah cannot be hindi pwede bawas Allah, hindi pwede dagdag Allah, and Allah cannot be multiplied and Allah cannot be divided. He cannot be divided, He cannot be multiplied because He's unlimited, powerful, walang hanggang. So stop thinking about Allah. Allah is the most great, Allah is the most high. Allah is the most kind. Think about the attributes of Allah. Don't think about the self of Allah. Because once people will think about the self of Allah and try to example of Allah, Allah is like that and like that and like that, you are committing shirk. Stop thinking about the self of Allah. Just think about the attributes of Allah, which Allah told us, like He is the most kind, the most merciful, the most great, the most high. Only the attributes we should discuss, not about the self of Allah. So that was a very important here, that Allah is Samad, the eternal absolute, who is unimaginable. Allah can see us, we cannot see Allah. Allah is above our imagination. Allah is above our thinking. And that is a very important thing that we should not discuss about that to think about the self of Allah, only about the attributes of Allah. We believe Allah as His greatness. We believe Allah as His majesty. As His majesty. Lahat ng bagay, the throne of Allah, the throne which Allah makes is not meaning that Allah is on the throne or Allah is above the throne, no. The throne is just a creation of Allah. Allah is not sitting on the throne. If you believe that Allah is sitting on the throne, which is the teachings of the most of the scholars, especially the Salafi scholar, I read about their comments that they are talking about Allah sitting on the throne, that is shirk. Because of Allah is sitting on the throne, He is just like a creation. Allah is not sitting on the throne. Allah is greatest than the throne, and whatever the creation of Allah is in front of Allah, sa harap ng Allah, mas malit pa sa isang atom. Mas malit pa sa isang atom. So you don't need to think where is Allah. You think Allah is unlimited. When there was nothing, that there is only Allah, and now Allah created everything and Allah will destroy everything. So don't try to make any direction for Allah or think about Allah or make some configuration of Allah. These all are the dangerous things. Just say Allah is great, Allah is above all His creation. And Allah is, because now some people, they will be confused, they will be attacked by the non-Muslims. For example, this is our earth, correct? That's our earth. Okay, we are here. Okay, and some people are here on the down. Okay, now you say, you pointed Allah. So what about the people here where they are pointing? You are here, but the other people aren't here. Where are you pointing? So do not make any finger, okay? Just say Allah is above His creation. Just say that. Because some people can make you, trap you. Because they can say, oh, what about the earth? Earth is round and you are here. And some people are here. And you say you are pointing Allah. So it means that Allah is below you. So you can be trapped easily. Just say that Allah is above His creation. Okay? Above His creation. Just say that. Don't try to point something, okay? Because this all the creation of Allah is in front of Allah is smaller than atom. So Allah is very near to us. He's nearer to us more than our jugular vein. So try to just say that Allah is above His creation. Above all His creation. And beside the creation, everywhere is Allah. Okay? Because Allah is unlimited. You cannot make limit Allah that Allah is only in this direction. No, you cannot limit Allah. Because once you limit Allah, then you are making Allah is limitado. Allah is unlimited. So do not make any limit of Allah. All the creation is smaller than atom and Allah is unlimited. And just say Allah is above His creation without pointing your finger, okay? Remember this and try to understand what I'm saying that, okay?